Alright, this is part 2 on the 1968 Sears Super 12 restoration. This is the one I'm converting into a 67 by putting the 67 style dash on it. So I got a bunch of more parts over here ready to put on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this frame and stuff basically put together on the forklift. And then I'll come back and I'll show you some updates on it, and then probably put the transmission front axle on. Okay, so I got the frame put together on the forklift. I got the front tires that I am going to use stuck on there. I'll have to pull them back off to paint the rims, but at least I can roll it around for now. The steering column, one thing with this is it doesn't go up all the way to the top like it should, since this is a 68 frame and I'm putting a 67 dash on it. So I do have the 67 steering column. So I'll have to just put some spacers on there, and then the steering wheel can go on there, no big deal. I got this frame here straightened back out. It was bent, because you couldn't debend it before the painting, I guess, so I had to do that now. High-low range lever put in, so I am ready for the transmission. So I'm going to get that put in now, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so I got the transmission put in, I got the dash on, and the floorboards, front grille. And something I started realizing is the fenders are actually bent more than I was thinking they were, so that kind of sucks. You can see the difference between here. The 3 fingers barely fits compared to back here. They fit, actually my whole hand fits, so that kind of sucks. I kind of tried jumping on it and it still just bounces back. Then this side here is better, however it's still kind of, it's bent in. Like, there's not supposed to be that much tire showing, and you can see it's still bent. So I got to figure that out somehow. Otherwise, the next thing I'm going to do is battery tray and engine. So I was mentioning in the last video that the engine is a 7 horsepower Lifen with electric start. However, I have no point of using the starter on it because it's such a small engine that there's really no point. And then the battery tray. This is like a SS16, or not SS16, ST16 battery tray, which is also, I don't know what's going on with the zoom here, whatever. This is the same battery tray found in like a ST16, or SS14 or SS15. The battery tray that's normally on this bolts to the 12 horse Tecumseh directly. And normally I just take that and I move it and then I just fasten it on there. But I must have took that out when I took the engine from this for another tractor. So I found that clutch laying out back, so I'll use that one instead. But anyway, I'm going to get that engine put in here with the battery tray, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I got the engine in. I decided to put the steering wheel on. And then, of course, while I'm that far, I decided, hey, what the heck, I'll put the seat on it. The headlight panel is actually one that I actually made. So if you look really close here, you can see it was cut out with a plasma cutter. So I copied an original one, and I made it because that was missing on this. And, you know, it actually looks pretty good. If I didn't show you that, you probably wouldn't even know that it was not an original one. And then that's bolted in like it should be. And then I just got these washers to hold these brand new bulbs in, which I feel bad not hooking up. But the thing is the charging system on this engine is like 1 amp or something like that. So it's not even going to be close to enough to run these old halogen bulbs. So I'm like, what's the point? But at least they look nice. I do have, however, this light here hooked up. So as soon as the engine starts, this one here comes on. Which I'd start it, but I have the garage door down. And then I also have this rear light here hooked up too, which I don't think on any of my other Super 12s I restored I hooked that up. So this will be the first one that's actually there and it actually works. So that's pretty cool. One of the next things I got to do is the decals, which I got to print up yet. And then the next thing I'm probably going to do is the floorboards. Then I got to put like the mid-mount attachment hangers and stuff like that on. Figure out what I did with the little knob that goes on there. Put the hood on, pulley on the engine belt. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get some miscellaneous whatever kind of stuff done, and then I'll come back and I'll give you some updates on it. Okay, so I got a bunch more stuff on. As you can see, I got the hood put on. I got the tread stuff put on the floor. This thing is really starting to come together. This thing looks awesome. I really like the looks of it with that white dash. That just looks really cool. I got a belt put on, as well as a pulley. I borrowed it off of another tractor. Put the side cover on. I zip tied the old shifter plate in there because it has the serial number and stuff on it, just for future reference. I don't have this side insert, and I also don't have the side grill. So I think I'm going to just borrow this insert from another one for now, or see if I can make something to fit in there to kind of fill the hole, but we'll see. I don't want to make it look kind of bad, so we'll see. But something else is that the steering wheel, this isn't an original Sears steering wheel. It's off of who knows what. It doesn't have a keyway, so I actually drilled a hole through the steering column and put this bolt through there. And then something I do realize is that the steering wheel sits up a little bit higher, and I kind of like it. But that is going to be it for this video. I've got the rims to paint. I need to do something with that hideous green gas tank, because that's not doing it for me right now. And then decals, because there's no decal up here. And then shifter decal on the dash ones. Put the throttle in. Some other little tiny finish touches. Like do some paint touch-ups, like get this nasty thing painted. I do some white on the side of the footboards because they're never got painted. Just kind of some little things like that. Figure out something for a center cap for the steering wheel because I don't have that. So just kind of get some other little odds and ends figured out, and then it'll be good for the final video. But I'm probably going to end this right here because this is pretty much exactly on how it's going to be when you see it next time. And I really like how this thing looks. This turned out really nice. But anyway, thanks for watching, and more coming soon. And then also, since I've got you here, here's a quick look at the excavator. So if you're still watching this, it's actually going to turn out. There's quite a bit of time that went by where I actually didn't think it was going to turn out. So I got one problem left, and that is this Chinese valve is kind of a piece of junk. Messaging back and forth with the person on eBay, which is from China, unfortunately. So they're kind of a pain to work with. It's a mess. They're trying to just draw the time out until run out of time, and I can't return it. But basically, long story short, I am going to get my money back for this valve, and I'm going to get another one. The problem with it is if you bring the boom, let's just say, for example, you bring the boom in the air, it uses hardly any power. And then if you set it down, it uses a ton of power. So something inside this valve is blocked. And all of the 4 out of the 5 I have hooked up, it's the same way. But the rest of it seems to work. The bucket was quite an interesting task. But yeah, that is it for this video, just like I said before. Thanks for watching. For those of you that seen this excavator now, here's a nice sneak peek at it. And I don't know when you're going to be seeing videos of this, but it will be coming up.